Okay, Garrett, you had time at Big League Camp. What was that like?
It was a pretty fun experience, being around all those guys and just super grateful for it.
What were you able to learn? Who kind of did you hang around with and
Yeah,
listen to and
yeah.
everything?
I kind of want to say everybody, like I took advice from Chris Sale, Strider, just like, tweaking on some pitches and just hearing their thought process about how they throw some of the pitches.
Yeah.
So,
So let's look back on last year. You made every start, right? Which is good.
yep.
So how did you feel about your season?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little rough, in the beginning. Couldn't really find the strike zone as well as I would like.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, I finished strong. I was healthy throughout the entire year, so that's just the main thing is being healthy. Because
Yeah,
if you're, healthy, you're playing. So
absolutely, absolutely. So were you able to learn even more about the routine to allow yourself to stay healthy? Because we were talking earlier with Briggs. It's like, okay, it's going to be a little bit different now because it's a
yep,
different schedule and calendar.
yep,
Now, after 2 years, you got to feel like you're in a good routine with that,
yeah,
aren't you?
yeah. I feel like I have my routine pretty much down.
Yeah,
So, um, yeah, just gotta stick to it. Not take any days off. Just be on my grind every day.
yeah.
So.
Let's talk about the development of your pitches. Where are you now? How were you last year? And just what do you feel about your repertoire?
Yeah, so now in high school, I threw a big time sinker. That was like my
Hmm.
go to pitch.
Hmm.
So when I got drafted, that pretty much just got banged. And last year, I was pretty much just four seams at the top of the zone and then slider and a changeup. But now I'm throwing four seam fastballs, sinkers, curveball, little cutter, and a splitter now. So the arsenal has opened up for sure
Hmm.
big time. So really excited for this year.
Now that's a lot.
It is.
And how do you feel? Are you still kind of playing around with those pitches to see what feels best to you before you get to the regular season and go at it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying stuff out every single day with
Yeah,
every single pitch, because you can always make it better,
sure.
always can.
So,
So
so what about those new pitches though? Which one is the most difficult for you so far?
difficult. I just figured out the cutter about like a month ago or so, so that's
Okay,
pretty new.
okay,
But I mean, the splitter is my go-to. I threw that towards the end of the year last year, and it was just swing and miss. So
really,
yeah,
really.
it's gonna be really exciting this year throwing that.
Now your command and control. I mean, your walk numbers are very good.
Yeah,
Do you take pride in that?
yeah, yeah. I don't walk anybody. I mean, I go in there, I just fill up the zone. So I'm coming right at you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's something that seems to jump off the stat page with you.
Yep.
Has that always been your priority to make sure you don't give any free passes?
Yeah, I mean, in high school, there was a ton of reports that I didn't throw strikes just because of my size. But if you look at stats, I've always thrown strikes.
Yeah,
So it's always just some gossip going on about, bigger guys can't throw strikes, but I've thrown strikes all my life.
yeah, yeah.
Always have.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, let me ask you about this. And I just talked with you about this a little bit last year. I'm always intrigued by taller pitchers
Yep.
because the pitchers I've interviewed over the years that are a little bit taller, some of them have had trouble with the repeating of the delivery
Yep.
because of their size and the
Yep.
landing and everything. I think when I talked to you last year, if I remember correctly, you were comfortable with how you were with that. Are you still comfortable with your consistency of your landing? And is that something that you've always tried to pay attention to because you're a little taller?
Yeah. So it goes back to my routine. Every day, just doing some sort of just stability, mobility, just any type of work to just feel my movement down the mound. I mean,
Hmm.
it could be just dry reps with a med ball or just getting on the mound and just going through my delivery. I
Yeah,
mean, because you can go play catch every day
right.
on flat ground, but you're only making that money. You're only doing, game reps on that mound. So the
Absolutely.
biggest thing is getting on the mound and doing the reps that you do in the game.
Yeah, yeah. That comfort level is important though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, and that routine kind of creates that comfort level to where you are going to be consistent in that delivery
for sure.
because that's something that they harp on a lot, don't
Yep,
they? The
they do.
pitching
They
coaches.
do.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. All right. So this year, what's your goal? Anything in particular?
Being around those guys on the big league side really gave me just some love. Like it was a great time over there.
Yeah,
So I want to be able to get back up there. I
yeah.
told Walt when I walked out yesterday, I was like, I'll be seeing you later this year.
Oh wow.
So
Did you really?
I did
That's
with
awesome.
100% confidence.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Well, but when you get to where you're going to go, hopefully in
yep,
Double A, I mean, that's a different color scheme on Alex's board,
yeah,
right? We assume that because we know how Double A pitchers are now on the radar more than ever.
Yeah.
So you have that mindset then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I gotta be where my feet are for sure. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think I'm getting there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when the time comes, I'll be ready.
So how much more confident, because when pitchers come in here, they all are like, I can go there right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
But how
Yeah.
much more, like compared to 2 years ago when you were getting ready for your first full season, do you feel as far as your readiness or close to being ready?
Yeah. I feel like I've just came a long way mentally, but also physically. Because now, like I said, I have 4 or 5 pitches that I can throw
Yeah.
versus 3. So it's just better, longer in the game. Um, and yeah, mentally, I feel like I'm ready for it. Being around those guys has just been I've been very grateful because they've just taught me a lot and kind of realized that the game is not as big as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's still a person. At the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, it's baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. So as far as your pitches, do you want to continue to refine that? Do you feel like that's going to be what is going to be important to you when you get to the second part of the year, as far as how much progress you've made on those new pitches from now to then?
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Always tweaking.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, hey, we wish you well. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
We look forward to seeing
Yes,
you
sir.
up there soon.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Good
Alrighty.
deal.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.